Hello and welcome to Show Pop. Today I'm breaking down episode 7 of Kimora Back in the Fab Lane. Episode 7 is all about growth. We see the children stepping into independence, Kimora struggling to loosen control, and money shifting from luxury to responsibility. This episode shows what happens when family, ambition, and real-world pressure collide. Grab yourself a drink, get comfortable, and let's get into this recap. Here we go. Okay, so I'm getting ready to watch and comment on episode 7 of Kimora Back in the Fab Lane. Let's do this. All right, so in this first scene, Kenzo is sitting down with Kimora. It looks like they're in their kitchen. And he's pretty much telling his mom that he wants to model because he wants to make his own money. Kenzo is 15 years old, and that is very common at that age to want to make your own money, and you want to be more independent because usually around that age is when your parents start pressing you about spending too much money, which is exactly what Kimora was doing in this scene because Kenzo tried to mention that Wolf was getting the opportunity to go to Sky Zone on a Sunday and how he had to go to sleep on Sundays at 8 p.m., which again goes back to that whole, the kids, older kids saying that that Wolf gets to get away with pretty much everything. So that continues that narrative, and I find it hilarious. But that's when Kimora tells him, you need to worry about yourself because you are spending too much money. And that's when he says he wants to model. I think it's a great thing. I can totally understand that Kimora has concerns because in this scene, she mentions about predators and how her daughters didn't start modeling for actual other people or organizations until they were much older. And Kenzo's at a very young and impressionable age. And any business that has young children working for them, whether it's super young children or even teenagers, all kids are impressionable and they're still developing. Yes, they are still developing. So they need to be protected and they are vulnerable. And that is a major concern that Kimora has. And of course, Kenzo being 15, not really knowing, what it's like out there, he's not concerned. But that's pretty much what's going on in that particular scene is that Kenzo's just letting his mom know, I'm ready to start, standing up as a man. And I want to make my own money. And the way I want to make it is modeling. So we're going to see how this goes. Let's keep going. Okay, so in this next scene, Aoki is visiting a 3D printing company. And what it seems to me, or from my understanding, it seems as though she's trying to create a custom hair pick. That's what we call it in the Black community, those types of combs that if you watch the episode, you'll see what I'm talking about. We call those picks, but it is a version of a comb. Usually it's used for people who have curly or kinky curly hair and you want to make it look more voluminous and, just kind of, I'll say back in the day, it was mostly used for afros. So you picked out your afro so you could get it perfect and get it nice and shaped. And go look at some pictures of Black people in the 70s. You'll know what I'm talking about. I guess maybe are Black people wearing afros so much these days? I don't think so. But maybe there's somebody out there still rocking the afros from time to time. However, anyway, she's trying to create that type of comb. And she's using this 3D printer company to do it. So it's good to see that she's feeling motivated after being at the Boulangerie launch that her sister's company is Boulangerie, and she was at the launch. So she talked about how she feels a little bit of pressure to kind of get her thing started. I hope that she knows that she's not, it doesn't have to be a competitive thing between her and her sister. I do hope she knows that. But it's good to start thinking business-wise for anybody. unless you're just someone that you just don't feel like you have the capacity to do business, then that's understandable. And then, of course, naturally, if you feel that way, then you have to have an understanding that you're going to be working for someone for the majority of your life. Okay. But if that's not what you want and you believe that you are capable, and I believe everyone's capable, but you have to believe that within yourself. If you believe you're capable, you should be trying to think business wise at any age. Okay. Whether you're 12, whether you're 24, whether you're 34, whether you're 54, I do not care. Business and entrepreneurship are something that is extremely valuable. And who doesn't want to be able to make money themselves based off their intellect, based off their creativity, right? So that's exactly what we see Aoki doing in this scene. She's getting started, and I'm excited to see what she's going to do with this accessory comb pick that she wants to be able to have a keychain hole so you can hang it on your keys or your phone or your purse or whatever it may be. I'm excited. The idea is interesting. I thought the artwork that she brought, or the ideas that she brought, were very beautiful and very classy and very creative. I love the ideas of it. So I'm excited to see where it goes for her. All right, let's keep going. Okay, so in this next scene, we are in Kimora's closet. And Kimora is showing how many bags she has. Okay, I'm not going to go in on her too much because, you know what, I am. I don't like, I know she was trying to be modest when she said she had 100 bags, which we could clearly see that there was well more than 100 bags. I'm just, I know celebrities, it is their life. They can't help it that they have money. It just is what it is. But I just don't like when they put in our faces, when you start seeing bags that are $3,800, $10,000, 3,800. No, I'm sorry. $38,000. I saw one price tag that said 38,000, another one that said 9,000. That stuff just rubs me the wrong way when I'm over here living in Los Angeles and seeing people that are homeless and, going through it. You know what I mean? When you see that the world right now, especially the economy right now, people can't even afford food. Rural communities are really going through it right now. And so when I see something like that, I get it. You have a love for fashion, girl. We get it. We know you're a fashionista model. We get all that, designer labels, and you have your own, designer label. Yeah. Okay. But all those bags, do you really, girl, when are you ever going to use them? You could give some of them away and give to charity. I don't know. Those bags are worth something. So I don't know. It just feels excessive, and and in this day and age, it's a bad look. And I'm sorry, Kimora, I love you to death, girl. I love your personality. I love everything you stand for. But this right here, I don't like. I just don't. I really just don't. Especially in this day and age. 2025 was a very hard year for a lot of people. And I don't want to see all your bags, girlfriend. I don't. That being said, she is having a conversation with Ming about getting a higher degree, and Ming does not want to do it. And as someone who has gotten a master's degree, it is extremely stressful and a lot of work, and I don't blame her for not wanting to do that. That being said, Kimora says that she's going to put the inheritances on the line if the girls don't do what she wants, essentially. And it sounds like she wants them to get higher degrees. I heard her say, they showed a clip of her talking about how she wants one of them to get a law degree and another one to do something else. I find this very funny because I have heard that Asian mothers can be like this. They can be really overbearing. They want their children to be really successful and they want them to be educated and they want them to pretty much do it all. And so that's just what I have heard. If you are Asian or if you know anyone that's an Asian family or Asian mother or Asian parent, please let me know. Is that true? Are we seeing something that is common of Asian parents when we watched this scene with Kimora and how she's interacting with Ming about getting her education? I really want to know. Okay. So, but that's pretty much it for this scene. Let's keep going. All right. So, in this next scene, Kenzo is modeling for a company that I think I caught that the name was Eve. Oh, please do not quote me, honey. It's hard enough keeping up with some of the little details in these shows, but I think it's called Eve and he's modeling and he looks good. And I just want to say something. Kenzo is such a cutie. Oof, I feel bad for the girls that go to school for him because he looks like he's a heartbreaker. And y'all better watch out for him when he gets older. Have y'all seen his dad? Very good looking man. Okay. So Kenzo, and he's tall. He's taller than his mama. And you know Kimora is tall. I think Kimora is at least 5'10", if not taller. And he's towering at least, I would say, about maybe 3 inches above her or so. That's what it looked like about on camera, at least. So he's a tall boy and he's only 15. That means he's going to continue to grow. It's so crazy. Anyway, Kimora, girl, y'all, let me tell you. Kimora in this scene, I was like, if I worked on this set, my like blood would be slightly boiling because she is, I don't think she can help it. I just think that she's a boss lady and she just kind of takes charge sometimes, even when maybe she should just sit back. She was telling him, do this, do that. And I'm like, I'm sure they have people for that will tell him how to pose and how he wants to, how they want him to look. Take the glasses off. She was like, do this, do that. I'm like, if you don't sit back, girl, I think they have a creative director already. So I just found that funny. I'm like, if she doesn't sit down, then she's all, I mean, you can't help the mother side of her. She's all in the way talking about, let me get a picture of my baby. Look at my baby, which is okay. I totally get that. And I love it. But I just found it really funny how she's just so in the mix. And it's like almost to me overstepping a little bit. But maybe the people don't mind because she is who she is. And the fact is that the fact that Kenzo is there and she's there is bringing eyes to their business. So maybe they're willing to take it. That's just something to think about. Now, before this scene wraps up, Kimora sits down with her best buddy. I think her name is, oh God, I think her name is Wendy. I could be wrong. Her best girlfriend. The one that took her golfing. You guys remember from the earlier episode. And she pretty much tells her, listen, you're in charge. If something happens to me, the girls do not get their inheritance unless they get a secondary degree, which is, what do they call it? Graduate level degree, I think, after you get anything after your bachelor's. And so, pretty much, Wanda, not Wendy. Did I say Wendy? What did I say? I think her name is Wanda. I'm sorry. She's telling her that. Now, the first thing I thought to myself was like, do I have a friend like this that I could trust like that? Because that's really beautiful to me. Like that you have someone that you love and trust so much that you would leave the decision of who gets the money of your kids to her, to have access to your money in general, to make sure your kids receive their inheritance, all of that stuff. That says a lot about how she views this woman. And it's very clear to me that this is a very dear friend that she trusts with her life. And that touches me. That really touches me because I don't think enough of us out here have someone like that you can trust without thinking twice about their intentions, about what, just all that. It's just really beautiful. So that being said, Kimora is really serious about these secondary degrees. She is not playing. Not only is she pushing them to get higher degrees, she's also pushing them to start businesses. She's really trying to grow the first two up. And I really thought that was really interesting. So that pretty much sums up that scene. Let's keep going. Okay, so in this next scene, it looks like Kimora may be in her baby fat headquarters. And Ming comes in and she sits her mama down and she pretty much tells her mom that she feels like the modeling agency that she is working with is not serving her, to the point where she feels like she's going to have to get the law involved, which is pretty serious. Now, her mom, I want to say this before I get into that part. I want to say that I love that Ming is coming to her mom about this. And she's not coming in a childish way, like, mommy, I need help. She's coming as a grown woman and saying, Mom, in my business, in my job, I'm having problems. You worked in this business before. How did you handle it? That's what she's doing. You know what I mean? And I love the interaction between the two and her mom giving her advice. I love stuff like that. This is why I like family reality shows, because, well, ones that where, the people are treating their family right. Because these are the type of things we should be seeing. A mom and daughter, two adult women, but two generations also having a conversation about life, about how to handle things. Mama has experience, so she can give you that because she's been there. She's done that already. You are just dipping your toe in right now. You're getting into it right now. And you don't, Ming hasn't been through all of the ups and downs that could come with being a model in the industry. So I just really loved the interaction. I enjoyed seeing Kimora give her daughter advice. That being said, I felt Kimora's pain a little bit in this scene because, Ming pretty much said, I think I'm going to need to, in other words, get a lawyer. She didn't say get a lawyer, but that's pretty much what she's, alluding to, is that she thinks she may have to take this thing to court. That costs money. Now, poor Kimora, what did she already say that I told you guys in an earlier in one of the earlier episodes, that Ming is the hardest on her pockets. This is what I was talking about, because she's the oldest. Ming is dealing with grown women shit. This is not a kids channel, so we curse around here from time to time, okay? She's dealing with grown women shit. She's not dealing with kid shit, or, she's not Wolf. She's not Kenzo. So she's dealing with really grown up problems, and grown up problems are expensive. So I know that Kimora is like, whew, okay, I'm gonna have to pay for this. It has to be tough being Miss Kimora, because there is no man that we see, that we know of here, at least that we see on the show, to help her out financially. If there is, it's somewhere in the it's quiet. We don't know about it, right? She has how many kids? Ming, Aoki, Kenzo, Gary, and Wolf, and the bonus son that lives with them. So that's 6 children, 5 of them being hers. Well, 4 of them being hers and 1 being adopted. And then you can just count the 18-year-old. I think his name is Jaden. He might as well be adopted too. You paying for him. 6 kids, you guys, and the majority of them are either teens and older. I don't know if she's footing the bill for Bali for Miss Aoki. I know Aoki does work. I also know Aoki went to school, but I don't know. And then it makes me think about something I had seen before on the internet with Aoki. So I'm wondering, I don't think Aoki's making that much money that she can just go there off her dime from some of the stuff that I've seen. So Kimora must be paying at least a portion of that bill. Maybe their father is also helping oh God, Mr. Simmons. So maybe he contributes a portion. We don't know. But we do know that it seems like Kimora's paying all these bills, and not to mention her own. And she has expensive habits. Didn't we just see her closet with bags that are thousands of dollars per bag? So, and your daughters have expensive taste. Well, at least Ming does. I can't tell. Aoki seems like she doesn't really care about that stuff. And the boys have expensive taste. Wolf was just talking about in this episode that he wanted some shoes that were $300. $300 for a pair of shoes. Okay. I'm feeling her pain. I am feeling the strain because that has to be adding up. And if the money isn't flowing in like crazy, then of course, naturally, you're going to look at this and be like, I can't keep spending like this on these kids, which is probably why she's doing what she's doing. It's probably why she has this reality show to kind of give them some, bring them some exposure for them and let them kind of use that to kind of lift themselves up, at least the older girls, and kind of go on their own way. You know what I mean? And absolutely, even Kenzo, who wants to model, this may be an opportunity for him too. And I'm sure Kimora will not be upset if he's able to make a little bit of money. But of course, she's going to want him to focus on his school first because he's still a young man. He's still in high school. So that is just something that I noticed right here in this particular scene that I found really interesting. It just has to be hard. I love the conversation that they're having, but I also feel bad for Kimora because it has to be tough footing the bill for all this stuff. And not only, does she have her own things with her own businesses, she has to worry about stuff like that. And herself, if she ever ends up in a situation where she needs to use legal, but now she's having to do it for her adult daughter. It's not easy. It's not easy. All right, let's keep going. Okay, so in this last scene, Aoki and her mother are at a restaurant and she's showing her the prototypes for her Afro pick comb. And I did confirm that it is actually an Afro pick comb that it is. I must have missed that somewhere, but it's definitely an Afro pick. I want to say Aoki's put a lot of thought into this, and I really like that. I mean, she knows what she wants it to be made out of, which is sustainable. She said some type of bean. I saw a little bit of the picture that she was showing her mom, and the actual comb has a little mirror on it, which I thought was cute, So I think I see that she's taken a lot of time to really think about what she wants it to be. She also said she was in Bali when she was asking for a patent on this comb that she's creating. So she's obviously thinking ahead. I love that. And I like that she's given it so much thought. It's a small item, but I don't think that matters. I think it's great to start off small. And if it's something that is good quality, and there are people who are like Aoki, who like even me, I would buy something like that. I love sustainable items. I love things that are eco-friendly, stuff like that. I try to seek out things that I purchase to be those things. So I think she's really got a good market niche that she can market to. And there are people that will really, really enjoy this comb. So I just want to say that. Let's keep going. The scene is still going. So let's see what else we can get from this scene. Okay, so that scene with Kimora and Aoki showing Kimora, her mom, her prototypes for her comb, that's pretty much all I got from it. It just ends with Kimora letting her know that she's proud of it, of the prototype, and she's excited to see what Aoki's going to do next. So that pretty much sums up the episode, I think it was 7, right? We're on 7. Episode 7 of Kimora back in the Fab Lane. What I really got from this scene is growth, or excuse me, not seen. What I really got from this episode is growth. We saw Kenzo growing into a young man, wanting to step out on his own, make his own money. We saw, we saw Aoki, stepping into her space and creating things that matter to her and creating her product. And yeah, I want to say, I think that's about it that I got from this that I can remember. I've been watching these back to back, so I don't know. Maybe I'm starting to get a little fuzzy, but yeah, that's pretty much what I got from this episode is growth. We saw growth in many different areas within the family and within the children. And I think that that's important to see on a family show like this, just watching the everybody kind of grow and develop into their own. And I think that's what we saw here on episode 7. So that's it for episode 7 of Kimora Back in the Fab Lane. And that is all I have for episode 7 of Kimora Back in the Fab Lane. What did you think about this episode? Let me know in the comments. Also, let me know what other shows you'd like to see me cover. In the meantime, vibe to the outro music, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.